What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Now, Netflix Vikings spinoff show Valhalla full cast revealed. Alright, so I just want to start off by saying here on Rants Lance and I, we had talked about maybe doing episode by episode review of the final season of Vikings, but since we didn't since we weren't around at the beginning of Vikings, it just felt odd kind of jumping into it, so we decided against it. But we are huge Vikings fans, and again, I don't mean the kind from Minnesota. I'm talking about the ones on History Channel and, of course, later Amazon. I thought overall this was one of three shows in the last 10, 15 years that could have been amazing, groundbreaking shows. And I'm talking about shows that change how viewers view television and what they expect from shows. One of those was Sons of Anarchy, another was Game of Thrones, and the other, of course, was Vikings. But the problem with all those shows, they had their ups and downs. Game of Thrones and Vikings kind of like in the middle of it, kind of just started falling off to a certain extent. But the only difference I would say between Vikings and Game of Thrones is I thought Vikings' final season was like the redemption arc for the show that it needed, because it was perfect, I thought, all the way through. Even characters that I had grown bored with and really got tired of, that I kind of felt like I didn't like where their story arcs were going, I started liking them again. Bjorn was one, Floki was one. I started liking these characters again. I can't say that for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones completely dropped the ball the final season. Like, if you hated the season before the ending of Game of Thrones, then you definitely, you thought that it had just really fell off the ends of the earth by the final season. But overall, I'll just say Vikings was a great show. I thought it got the ending that it deserved. I am excited for a spin-off of it. Apparently, this spinoff is going to take place 100 years after the original Viking series. I will say I'm not really too big on the whole setting of it. Of course, it's supposed to have Leif Erikson, and it's supposed to, from what I understand, it's supposed to like a clash of cultures where you have the Norse mythology with the Vikings, and then the Christians, and all of that's taken place. And that would normally be a really cool thing, but we've already seen it in Vikings. Like you're just doing a retelling of that. You're not telling anything new. Like, this is where this story took place. If you wanted to do a story where it was profound or different, you shouldn't have put so much in it in Vikings. And if you wanted to do something completely different, you should have gone 100 years before Vikings, not 100 years after, because then there wouldn't have been the same old stuff. There wouldn't have been all the clash of cultures thing. But I just kind of feel like when they're trying to act like that's something new, that's not new to Vikings. Like, most of the main characters were in that mix between Christian and Norse mythology Viking. And some of them, struggled with that and struggled with the culture change, the shift of power, basically, that went along with it. When the Christians really started, they started realizing that, hey, you know what? This Christian thing could completely destroy what we know, as Norsemen. Like, it could destroy our fabric of civilization, what we know, our religion, all of that. It could destroy it. Like, so there was that clash, and I kind of feel like Vikings Valhalla trying to make it sound like it's something new is just, I don't know. I feel like it's just not believable because we've seen it a million times. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's read some of these names, and let's just see if we recognize any of them. It says, with the original series finally having ended at the end of 2020, fans are now looking forward to the follow-up on Netflix. A recent press release announced the full cast of Season 1 of Vikings Valhalla, which includes Sam Corlett as Leif Erikson, Frida Gustafsson as Freydis Eriksdotter, Leo Suter as Harold Sigurdsson, and Bradley Freegard as King Canute. Other cast members include Johannes Johannesson as Olaf Haraldsson and Laura Berlin as Emma of Normandy. David Oakes as Earl Godwin, Caroline Henderson as Jarl Haken, Pollyanna McIntosh as Queen Elphigifu, and Ashton Krogh Neeson as Jarl Kerr. Forgive me if I butchered those names. I'm not exactly up on my Scandinavian names, so not really that great at it. So sorry, guys. Let's read and see if it tells anything more. Vikings Valhalla will center on famed Viking Leif Erikson, telling the story of the Vikings' era gradual decline and the proliferation of Christianity through Scandinavia in the 11th century. The Old Norse pagan beliefs and mythology of different Viking groups played a key role in the original series, and the clash between old and new invading religions should set an interesting and tense backdrop for the action of the series. Though all the Viking characters will be dead by the time the new show starts, their legacy will surely carry on into the story of Valhalla. Alright, so I don't recognize the names of any of these characters. So all of this will be kind of new to me. But that kind of just rehashed kind of what I had already said about this show. To me, it's not that original in that regard. Like, I kind of feel like they should have maybe gone in the past more than going in the future. But I get it. They're wanting this clash of culture thing. Like, that's always kind of been a big deal in Vikings. In the original Viking show, and it's going to be a big deal in this one. I just kind of feel like after about 6 seasons of it, like, it's kind of worn on me a little bit. Like, I mean, there's a clear distinction of kind of what I don't want to say that there's a bias in a lot of ways, but I mean, they kind of, made all the Christian characters kind of like douchebags in it. So, I guess that's like, I noticed when I was playing that new Assassin's Creed game, it was kind of that way too, in a lot of ways. Like, there's just so many. I don't want to complain or say it's like Christian bashing or something along those lines. But when you see it, you're like, I've kind of seen this. Like sometimes it just feels so old now because it's been done so much that I'm kind of like, we get it. If you have a Christian over here and you have, some kind of pagan religion or something over here, of course it's going to be, you're going to put that religion over, the Christian. Christians are going to be the bad guys. Because I guess that's somehow original in the world of Hollywood. But apparently that's just how it goes. Which, it's not a big deal to me. It's just, it's one of those things I just kind of roll my eyes on now. I'm just like, okay, we get it. This is the trend, I guess. It just always irks me to a certain extent that they would never do it with any other religion other than this. And we even kind of saw it with on Vikings, the original Vikings with Floki, and Floki was enamored by Islam religion and the way it was, but he hated Christians. So I was like, okay, I didn't understand that in that show. I didn't understand that in that part of that show, but I get it. It's Hollywood. That's how they're going to do things. But overall, I will say I'm really excited about this new series. There's a part of me that actually, I'm really picky on my shows now. I'm like, if there's a good thing with the show, I'm always kind of like, ooh, don't make a spinoff of it because it might ruin it. Because I was kind of that way with Mayans on Sons of Anarchy. Like Sons of Anarchy, that was one of my 3 shows that I said could have been groundbreaking. And the last season of it was just, to me, terrible. But still, when they made Mayans, I was like, oh, please don't ruin Sons of Anarchy for me. And so far it hasn't. But there's so many spinoffs that do that. Like you see the spinoff and you're just like, well, that ruined how I thought it was going to be. Like, when you have these scenes that are kind of ambiguous, that the hero goes off into the sunset, and then you find out later that hey, anvil dropped on him or something like that, or his kids hated him, kind of like in the Harry Potter cursed child thing. Like, I mean, there was like so many things in there that you're just like, I didn't need to know that. Like, sometimes I just want to I like the mystery of some things. So at least on this, the original cast of Vikings will not be present. It will be its own show. And yes, it'll probably draw on a lot of the characters, like the legends of them. But it's not going to be probably an intricate part of the show. It's going to have to stand on its own. So I am actually looking forward to that. I think that's a great sign for this because, look, when it come to, like I mentioned with Mayans, I kind of felt like Mayans kind of drew on Sons of Anarchy that first season. I was like, it was like, hey, remember this? And I'm like, I don't need these member berries. Like, I want you to stand on your own. Like, you either stand on your own or either you do like a complete, carry on with the original show. But you can't have both. Like, you got to either do one or the other because fans aren't going to like that. And so I kind of feel that way with this. Is Vikings Valhalla going to get the same fans as what the original show did? I would say if there was any show that had a chance of just immediately drawing over large swaths of the fans, I think it's Vikings. I think Vikings, people that watch the original series will be attracted to this show. I know I will. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I don't recognize any of the names so I can't exactly speak on whether I think this is a bad, these are characters that don't fit the part. Overall, I think they look the part of it. They look at what I would kind of expect, these characters to look like and probably to act like and things. So like, I don't have a problem with it in that way. It's not like like the new House of the Dragon, where I felt like they've completely messed up on the casting of it. Like, it's not one of those moments. Like, I think this cast will suffice, and I think they'll probably do a good job. I don't see any red flags, let's just put it that way. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Netflix Vikings Valhalla will actually do the original series justice, or do you believe that it could actually hurt the main series? Are you interested in seeing it? Are you interested in us here on Rants or Us maybe doing, episode reviews in the future or more news on it? Let us know so that we can kind of gear what we're doing here towards you, the fans. But as always, guys, thanks for watching.